Wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for August 27th, 2020. We do have some fans in the building, the most amount of fans that we've seen in many months, which is nice from a visual standpoint and from the audio standpoint. We could hear some actual crowd reaction, some real life crowd reaction, which was rather delightful. Now, this episode is taking place on a Thursday. They will be back to Wednesday next week, and next week is the go home episode going in to All Out. So that will be pretty nice there. All right, check this out. We're going to start with the tag team #1 contendership gauntlet. I don't know why they must do this. I've mentioned this before, but this is how they do it. They either have some kind of battle royal or do some kind of tournament. They're doing a gauntlet right here at basically the finish line going into their pay-per-view, which you must pay for, by the way. This is not going to be a free one. This isn't going to be a special. I assume since they got fans, they're like, hey, time to pay that money. So I better save up because it's coming. What is it, September 5th? It's going to be on a Saturday. It's coming up very soon. But right now, coming right to your face, no intros, no entrances here, no entrances for the wrestlers. It's gonna be the Young Bucks versus the Nightmare family, or at least part of them. It's QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes with Allie. Dustin, he seems to be his nice, jovial, happy self, even though his brother got destroyed on the last episode. The only person that gets an introduction or an intro is Jericho as he goes to commentary, and the people in the crowd sing a song because, hey, of all things, we don't need to forget Chris Jericho's song because, of course, that's the freshest thing going on, right? I mean, they can get the mileage out of that song, but this is kind of an okay match here as part of this first leg of their gauntlet. The VTE or the BTE trigger and the Young Bucks advance. No real surprise there. Next up, the Best Friends are going to be taking on the Bucks. And I would assume a lot of people watching would think, okay, the Bucks could win. Then they could go against maybe FTR. Maybe at some point. Maybe they'll do that. But you might be disappointed. The Best Friends, they do get to hug inside of the ring. Nick Jackson was calling for Matt in the ring. He was looking at the wrong corner, and he was trying to reach for the wrong corner. And I thought, wow, I didn't know he was that out of place. I didn't know he was that messed up there in the ring. But it looks like that the Young Bucks might continue to advance, but Adam Page comes down and grabs a leg of one of the Bucks, and this causes enough slowdown and distraction for the Best Friends to pick up a win and advance. So Adam Page has turned against the Young Bucks. They made this out to be like some kind of shocking, just, whoa, I can't believe this would happen. But there has been dissension between at least Adam Page and the Young Bucks for a long time. And if that wasn't obvious to everyone, including the Young Bucks themselves and Omega, I don't know. They just haven't been paying attention. There's no shocking revelation there. If this was something like Omega doing it, then I think they would have cause to be shocked. Anyways, yeah, the Best Friends, they were not bothered, I suppose, by their van getting destroyed, and whatever happened off camera that we never got to hear back from Trent's mom. But they pulled it together here, and they won. So now it's FTR with Tully taking on the Best Friends. It's the final round of the gauntlet. And FTR, they looked nice. They had like blue smoke in the background, kind of hazy. They were walking like they were bad, like they were tough, like they were aggressive, and they did the same thing inside of the ring. this match right here, tag rope required. If FTR is going to be in there, then it's required, which is strange. You have these big, tough guys that are attacking, and they're very aggressive. They're just trying to break the best friend's legs across the ring post. But you better follow the rules, which is kind of a weird concoction there. But they're bad guys, so they want the rules enforced, but I guess only when they really want them. I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. But Chucky gets a pin, but the referee doesn't count for some reason. I didn't understand why. Maybe his shoulders weren't clearly on the mat, but they should have done something, because the guy was just pinned and he was just pinned, and the referee was like, I can't do it. I cannot make the count. It's just kind of an awkward spot there. Dax, he makes Chucky tap, and FTR wins. They advance. So good for FTR. They looked fantastic in this little spot. I still think it was ridiculous to do a gauntlet. AEW Dynamite is just a continuous string of tag matches, and if you like tag matches, then you must really be enjoying AEW these days. Next up, we have a Darby video. He is walking the lonely road of faith. He's going up this big bridge. Looks like it used to be a railroad bridge, or maybe currently still is. He climbs on the top of this thing. Oh, and he has thumbtacks still in his back. Or maybe he put them in again so he could record this video, puts on his jacket, and then jumps into the river, which looks incredibly dangerous. So if he did that, he's crazy. That was, whew, that water looked pretty shallow, is what I'm saying. Next up, we have the Murder Hawk with Jake the Snake. They're taking on this guy. I believe his name was Sean. It was hard to pick up because, the action started so quickly. Of course, a Murder Hawk, he attacks one of the people in the crowd. Well, not one of the actual fans, but one of the wrestlers posing as the ringside fans. So they're letting people in the building, but you got to stay really, really, really far away in this open-air arena from the competitors. Because, you guys, we can't take that kind of risk. We can only have our guys. Which is free security is around the ring as well. So, hey, there you go. Blackout by Lance Archer to this Sean guy, starts beating his head against the mat, and he wins. They go to commercial break. We come back, and Jake the Snake has already started his promo. We're in middle sentence, so you have to pick up the context clues to know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Casino Battle Royal? I thought they just had a Casino Battle Royal. I'm confused. But apparently they're going to have 20 men entering a Battle Royal, I guess. I don't even think Jake knows what he's talking about. Then we hear this Limp Bizkit sounding rip-off music, just with the way the vocals were at the beginning and kind of the way it sounded. It sounded kind of Limp Bizkit, like circa 1999 maybe. But Team Taz, they got a new song. I kind of liked what they had, but we got Brian Cage. He's the FTW champion. Remember him? And with him is his little buddy, a 1994 looking Dwayne Johnson for Ricky Starks there. Darby makes his entrance with his skateboard, and by the way, he's in the Battle Royal too. I still want to see this feud develop more with Ricky Starks and with Darby Allin. They always have so many people in the ring at the same time. It's hard to focus on your storylines to me. It's cool to do these multi-angles going on at the same time, but it's almost like they do it in every segment they do in the ring. It almost seems like they're just doing this with too many people. They did contract signing later on where that wasn't the case. But when they do this, I think you lose the focus a little bit. And I really believe that they should give more focus to just Ricky Starks and Darby Allin and what they're doing with each other, because I really think that that's a feud on the lower card scale that can be something people can emotionally get invested in. And I feel like it's a waste to just have Lance Archer and Jake the Snake and Brian Cage and Team Taz, and oh my goodness, there's so many people in the ring at the same time. Next up, we have MJF. He is in the hallway with a walker. He's got his neck brace on. He gets mad at one of his dudes because he thought he was laughing. Some of these segments with MJF work, some of them don't. This little segment, I didn't really feel like it works. I really just don't think it's the best look for MJF to try to ban Jon Moxley's finisher, because honestly it kind of makes him look like a wuss. I understand he's a bad guy, we're not supposed to like him, but he typically is more believable that like he could beat you up, and he wouldn't be scared in real life of some move. This is more chicken stuff than I am comfortable with MJF doing, but that's what they're doing. So maybe I'm assuming they're using this as a way for MJF to actually use the move against his opponent in the actual match, knowing that Moxley is handicapped. So I think it's actually going to work out, but seeing him complain about somebody else's finisher and being like, it should be banned, I have my attorney, just makes him look kind of goofy, a little goofier than I would like. We see another half-painted face person up here. We saw Darby Allin, now we see Thunder Rosa. She's going to be taking on Sheeta. They do a little package, so that's cool. NWA champion versus AEW champion. Hey, what else are you going to do when you do absolutely nothing for Sheeta? I mean, what are you doing? You're no story, no build-up, no development, just, hey, champion versus champion, but only the AEW championship is on the line. Okay, well, it's going to be a cool match, but where's the story? Where's the emotional investment? I mean, cool match, cool people, but that's what you're going to build up to your big pay-per-view that you're going to charge money for? Huh. You know, you can't just do that every pay-per-view, but they're going to do it for this one. MJF, he has his contract signing with Jon Moxley now. This is where we get to hear some of the fans really well. MJF attorney speaks, sounds just like a professional wrestler. I actually was a lawyer in an independent wrestling show for a few months, and yeah, I always tried to make sure I didn't sound like a wrestler. I mean, I'm not a wrestler, so I guess I wouldn't sound like one, but it really seemed obvious, so I was like, hey, I've done that before. So I got punched in the face, I got hit in the balls with a kendo stick, yeah, but I didn't end up having a match, which, I mean, it would have been horrible if I did. I would not advise that. MJF speaks while Moxley chews gum, which is fine. That's a good look, because MJF, this is where he really shines here on the microphone, being aggressive. So I like that. And Moxley just sat there and just kind of was like, he just had no expression on his face, essentially, other than chewing gum, if that can be considered an expression. But then MJF mentions Jon Moxley's wife and the attorney. Oh my gosh, like, Moxley finally gets mad, he gets up, and then the attorney tries to stop him, and that's when he really shows his wrestling. He's like, oh, like he was going to actually do something. And then Moxley, yeah, he signed it. It's official, he can't use his finisher anymore, but apparently Moxley added in a page, which means that next week he'll fight the lawyer guy, and the paradigm shift will be allowed. Okay, so I have questions. You knew the whole time that you put that in there and you were going to face the wrestler guy? Because you didn't know that the attorney was going to go all crazy on you and try to stand up to you and all this kind of stuff. But so you put that extra page in previously when all you knew is this is his attorney, and he really didn't do anything that offensive. He just, well, kind of made a contract saying that you couldn't use the paradigm shift, which, by the way, you could have not signed it and then it wouldn't have mattered, right? I don't know. He got, what was it, 5 million signatures? This is kind of silly stuff. You know, when you can't really find a justifiable explanation for what they're doing, it makes me question why they're even doing it. But I kind of see where they're going. It just feels a little not fleshed out. Proud and Powerful have a video package on the best friend. So, I thought they were just going to drop it earlier, but apparently that's still a thing. And they're going to fight each other. I think at the pay-per-view they're going to finally have a match. So, cool. Maybe they'll buy him a new van. Maybe they'll get Jake from State Farm. I don't know what they're going to do. Promotional tie-in. You can do a lot of things. Well, let's do a lot of things all at one time. Another tag match, if you will. It's going to be the Lucha Bros and Butcher and Blade with Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston mentioned, he did mention later on that, people said that this was going to be a new faction, and why is there a faction? Well, this is not a faction. These are my bros. These are my dudes. And I'm like, okay, cool justification. But why are Butcher and Blade and the Lucha Bros together? I mean, I don't really care about what Eddie Kingston is doing. You can do whatever, dude. You're good on the microphone, I'll give you that. But why did you bring them together? Are you telling me that you've been friends with Butcher and Blade forever? Because you guys don't look like you hang out very much. And speaking of people that look like they don't hang out very much, they're taking on Brian Pillman Jr., Sonny Kiss, and Joey Janela. Now, Joey Janela gets out of this match pretty quickly because he gets package pile drive on the apron. I mean, my goodness, this should send you to the freaking hospital. I mean, if a double arm DDT can scare MJF into getting an attorney and having to use a walker and a neck brace, then yeah, this package pile driver on the apron, I'm sure, did a whole lot of damage. But Butcher and Blade, they grab the pin. Eddie Kingston, he gets their hands raised. He demands that the referees raise their hands. And then he mentions that all 5 guys in the ring, so these 2 tag teams plus Eddie Kingston, will be in the Casino Battle Royal. I thought they just had a Casino Battle Royal. Am I freaking tripping? What is happening here? Are all of their Battle Royals going to be considered Casino Battle Royals? Because they're in Florida, right? Do they have casinos in Florida? I've been to Florida a couple times, but every time I went, I was at the beach. So, I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Anyways, it's the Dark Order, and they bring out a golden casket. This is supposed to represent Cody for all the evilness they did, and Evil Uno. He speaks for whatever reason. I mean, he's not the leader of the Dark Order, right? That's the Exalted One. It's Brody Lee, I thought. Maybe not. Well, they celebrated. They bought a bunch of lawnmowers and a Mustang. Why? I don't know. The commentators didn't know either. I could not figure out what the lawnmowers were about. Was this some kind of weird inside joke that I didn't get? If I didn't get it, I promise you the average viewer did not get this. They open the casket, and 10 is in the casket with a Cody neck tattoo and shows it off as if we were supposed to be able to see it from the far away shot, which was overexposed and nobody could see what was happening inside of that casket. I thought they were trying to do some kind of magical effect. But yeah, there's a Nightmare Family jacket they threw in there. They put a Cody flag on the casket. I'm sure there's only been 2 or 3 sales of the Cody flag, and they used one of them here. Brody comes out with Anna Jay, and yeah, he's the new TNT champion. Tony interviews them. Brody looks like a used car salesman. One of the Dark Order members, they mark out for some reason, and then Darby hits him with the belt. So, tough love? Not really sure. Yeah, Brody tries to convince himself on the microphone that he is over, he's the champion, and people care about him. But listen to the crowd, they may tell you something different. Now, QT and Dustin, they come down after so much time. I don't know why, with the whole casket and everything. They must have been in the bathroom because they finally come down and they get beat up. Scorpio Sky helps. Anna Jay slaps him. And Sky gets teamed up on Matt Cardona. Where was he last week? I just felt like maybe she could have came out. If he would have came out at just the right time, maybe he could have stopped all of this. Well, he finally comes out here. He beats up people. Brody and the Dark Order, they stare from the stage as they got backed off a little bit, and the good guys are in the ring, and the fans, boy, do they tell a lot, because it's dead-ass silent in that building, and the segment ends. So, whoo. See, it's just there's just so much happening that it's hard to process. You know, when you just do so many things over and just all at the same time, there's going to be confusion. And there was confusion. Now, Dasha interviews Paige at the bar. Now, Paige, he had about 10 dark circles over his eyes. He looks like he had been awake for 4 to 7 days. I guess he was just drinking? Well, no, he's been doing that anyways. Maybe he's just been thinking about screwing over the Young Bucks all this time and hasn't gotten any sleep. Or he's trying to look like The Undertaker in the early 90s. I don't know. But, yeah. The Young Bucks show up and they're super butthurt about what happened in the ring. And Matt Jackson is almost in tears. He sounds like a little baby breaking up with Adam Page here. He looked like a girl in tears, being like, I can't believe you did this to me. I can't speak to you ever again. And kicks him out of the Elite. And yeah, Adam Page looks in a broken mirror and is just looking at his broken self. Yeah, so what are they trying to say? That he has a drinking problem or he's an attitude problem? He screwed over the Young Bucks. I mean, this is no surprise. He has been not liking these guys for a long time. And he cost them a match. So this is how they're going to do Adam Page not being officially friends with the Young Bucks anymore. Okay, well, I guess we'll wait and see what Omega has to say about this. Do you care? Do you care about this? Because it just seems not that impactful. I'm more concerned about why Adam Page looks so tired than I am about him screwing over the Young Bucks. Now we have Big Swole taking on Reba and Ford. If Big Swole wins, then she gets a match with Britt Baker. And if she loses, then, yeah, okay. It's weird stipulations. But Reba, she has her ring gear, so she's a wrestler. I mean, I know she's a wrestler, but they were making her out to not be a wrestler, but now she has wrestling gear, but she doesn't really wrestle when she's in the ring. She gets a Hurricane Rana that looked horrible. It looked so bad. It looked so bad. Rebel, she uses a crutch, but Big Swole gets the pin, and Big Swole beats Ford. Now she can have any match she wants September 5th at All Out. So cool. Dark Order comes out and they give a pink folder to Taya. She's a female wrestler. And Taya and the Anna Jay girl give a big, hey girlfriend hug to each other. And I'm like, you guys are in the Dark Order. And you're like, hey girl, hey. Oh, jeez. It's Sammy Guevara in the main event with Matt Hardy. It is a tables match. And, of course, they pretty much go straight to commercial. They go to a commercial, and Matt Hardy is being very serious. Sammy goes through a table. Matt didn't put him through there, so it didn't matter. And somehow Sammy is bleeding. But if you weren't watching the picture-in-picture during the commercial with no audio for the wrestling, then you missed everything that happened right there. Matt goes through a table, twist of fate on while Sammy's head is in a chair, which was freaking brutal. Then Matt pulls out a chair and a table. He pulls out a table that says delete, puts the table inside of the ring, puts the chair underneath. They struggle on the top ropes over there, up on the top turnbuckle, and Sammy superplexes Matt through the table. Boom. There's a chair underneath, it all collapses, it all breaks, it all folds, and Sammy is bloody, but he is the winner. And out of nowhere comes Orange Cassidy sprinting and knocks down Chris Jericho and the AEW wall. JR reacts as if he didn't know this was actually happening or going to happen. The referees try to separate them. So there you go. I hope you're excited about the Mimosa match. Remember, what was it, 80 gallons of orange juice, and I forgot to mention they're going to have 50, 500, it doesn't matter, bottles of champagne. So I guess whatever they didn't sell in the warehouse, they're going to pour inside of a kiddie pool. Pinfall submission or throwing them in the mimosa. My goodness, AEW. Yeah, next episode, next Wednesday, is the go-home episode, and then boom, we're going to All Out. I will be reviewing all of them. And yeah, this episode of Dynamite, yikes. It had some moments, it had some spots, but whew, hope you're ready for All Out because it's coming up soon, and I will catch you guys next time.